continues to stay on with us. Bhavtosh, this has become a political flashpoint also because much of Aam Aadmi Party's campaign in Punjab recently as well was about how, like Gaurav Bhatia was pointing out, they're crusaders of against corruption, of how there is no space for corruption in Aam Aadmi Party, and in that sense, recoveries like these, claims like these being made by the Enforcement Directorate turn out to be extremely big.
Yes, sir. Right from the when Satyendra Jain was arrested, the question that BJP asked was that why he's not being sacked from the Council of Ministers, and that was what Smriti Irani asked, is that he should immediately be sacked from the Council of Ministers. While his portfolio was taken away and given to Manish Sisodia, but Christine, he continues to remain a minister in Arvind Kejriwal's cabinet. And that's what not only BJP but even Congress is asking, that why this faith is being reposed by Arvind Kejriwal. In fact, he in a very sarcastic manner asked that he should be awarded with Padma Bhushan and even with Padma Shri, and highest civilian award should be given to him. Enforcement Directorate time and again has said that they had done due diligence, that they had recorded statement of everyone in the family of Satyendra Jain and even extended family of Satyendra Jain. The documents that Times Now has access clearly showed that even his family members were not aware of that land has been given to them. Little later we can show you these documents, that as soon as an FIR was filed against Satyendra Jain, land was transferred to them even when they were not aware of this fact. Now 230 to 230 bigha of land were purchased by shell companies which were directly or indirectly linked to Satyendra Jain, and the value of this land was over 23 crore rupees. Now, investigation that was earlier carried out by the Income Tax Department clearly showed that that somewhere Satyendra Jain, being a minister, was aware of the fact that the land mix use of Delhi was being changed from agriculture. It was changed to a commercial, and Satyendra Jain, being a minister, was aware of this fact, and that's why he in fact was on a purchasing spree to buy this land, and that's what he did. As a minister, he purchased all this land, and then subsequently he then sold off this land. Now, this is a very serious charge that was leveled by income tax, and subsequently CBI filed FIR on 28th of August 2017, and then Enforcement Directorate started carrying out a money laundering probe. Yes, it took them nearly 5 years to find out some serious charges that were leveled by CBI, but the fact is that they have established charges of money laundering. They have managed to probe that Satyendra Jain is involved in a very intricate network of money laundering. The very fact that huge amount of cash has been recovered from his immediate family members, that gold has been recovered, clearly showed that that family members close to Satyendra Jain were also involved in this illegal activities. Many people who were said to be close to Satyendra Jain were also involved in this illegal operation. Their statements will also be recorded. ED on its part have said that Satyendra Jain could not explain the source of money, and that was the only reason why he has been placed under arrest. The court also, while giving the custody, has said that it's a very serious charges that have been leveled by the Enforcement Directorate, and that's the reason why he was remanded to 9-day custody of the Enforcement Directorate. And on 9th of June, when his custody will get over, Enforcement Directorate will obviously ask for more custody of Satyendra Jain.
Absolutely. As far as defense by the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, they also raised questions and tried to highlight the fact that for 5 long years, the agencies were mum. They did not take any action, no notices were sent, no calls were made. Now, did we see a fade out in the agency's probe?
Well, it's a fair and free probe. CBI took cognizance of the prosecution complaint that was filed by the Income Tax Department. Income Tax Department started carrying out its own investigation when Satyendra Jain was not even in public life. Remember, Satyendra Jain is a person who entered public life only when AAP formed a government, and he became minister in 2013, continued remaining a minister till February 2014, when AAP in fact had a very short stint in Delhi, and then became a minister in February 2015 and continued remaining minister till he got arrested. So that's his stint as a minister in Delhi. If you just go, Christine, by the CBI charge sheet in the FIR that has been filed by the CBI, let's go for, step by step as to what has been done in this case. CBI clearly said that he has a very ordinary background as far as his life is concerned. He was a person who has a very ordinary background, and then he subsequently rose in life as a private person. His has managed to acquire a wealth which was 1.47 crore rupees, which was 210% more than the no source of his income. As a minister, his salary was around 70,000 crore rupees. But if you deduct what he earned and what were his expenditure, they said that was 210% more than the no source of income. He was in fact director of 5 shell companies. He in fact resigned from these shell companies as soon as he entered public.
That does put a lot of questions on the table for the Aam Aadmi Party to answer. Let me go across to BJP's RP Singh joining us on the phone line. Mr. Singh, what would you now say to the kind of recoveries that have been made from a close aide of Satyendra Jain? Enforcement Directorate all through yesterday were carrying out intense searches, and now gold worth 2.82 crore rupees has been recovered.
Well, Mr. Kejriwal had a lot to answer. He was giving clean chit and certificate to Satyendra Jain's team. The fact is that till now, Satyendra Jain is not answering where did the cash of 16 crore rupees came? Who gave him that cash? How did he earn that cash money, which he has shifted to Calcutta and from Calcutta to Delhi? From those 16 companies in Calcutta to 5 companies in Delhi, which are owned by Mr. Satyendra Jain and Mr. Jain's family. So he need to answer that. These are all game of corruption money, which has been earned through corrupt means, and then circulated through Hawala company, and then some entities were being done to buy land here worth of crores of rupees.
Yes.
And make benefit out of that.
Yes, and there has been no admission so far from the Aam Aadmi Party. Do you think they're still extending this kind of a political patronage despite evidence after evidence coming to light?
Well, they did the same with Tahir Hussain also. I remember when Tahir Hussain was, till the time Tahir Hussain was arrested, they were defending Tahir Hussain. Both Mr. Sanjay Singh and Mr. Saurabh Bhardwaj on TV channels were defending Tahir Hussain. But when finally he was arrested, they stopped defending him. The same is the case here. It's a matter of time Satyendra Jain will speak. Whose money was it? Did Mr. Kejriwal give him money? Did party give him money? Or was it some other?
उनके भाई की वाइफ और उनकी बेटी 3 महिलाएं थी, और इन महिलाओं को जबरन सुबह 7 बजे से लेकर रात के 2 बजे तक जो है वहाँ पे रखा गया। किसी को नहीं पता कि ईडी को वहाँ पे क्या मिला। जितना हमें पता चला, ईडी को वहाँ पे कुछ नहीं मिला, और ना ईडी के पास कोई खास कोई सूचना थी जिस चीज़ को वो वहाँ पे ढूंढ रहे थे। सिर्फ और सिर्फ हैरेसमेंट, सिर्फ और सिर्फ प्रताड़ना जो है इसको कहा जा सकता है। इस तरीके से किसी ऐसे घर में जहाँ पे सिर्फ महिलाएं हों करना जो है मानवता के मूल्यों के भी खिलाफ है। और मुझे लगता है कि ईडी सीधा सीधा केंद्र सरकार के इशारे पे सत्येंद्र जैन साहब जैसे अत्यधिक धार्मिक आदमी के साथ और उनके परिवार के साथ इस तरीके का व्यवहार कर रही है, जो कि किसी भी राजनीतिक दल को नहीं करना चाहिए। बीजेपी मर्यादा की सारी हदें जो है वो लाग रही है।
एक दूसरा मुद्दा है की जा रही है, आपके कई विधायक अलग अलग समूह में जा रहे हैं जिससे मुलाकात करने। कल कुल विधायकों का समूह गया था, और जो सवाल उठाए जा रहे थे आम आदमी पार्टी की तरफ से कि एलजी चुनी हुई सरकार के काम में हस्तक्षेप कर रहे हैं, ये शायद उन लोगों की तरफ से रखा गया जो कल प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की थी सोमनाथ भारती ने। उन्होंने कहा कि एलजी ने साफ तौर पर कहा कि पूरी दिल्ली हमारी है।
देखिए, मैं तो आज भी यही चाहूँगा कि चुनी हुई सरकार और एलजी समन्वय के साथ काम करें। और वो समन्वय कैसे होता है? जैसे आप 2 लोग आए हैं, एक कैमरामैन है, एक रिपोर्टर है। अगर रिपोर्टर कहे कि नहीं मैं कैमरा चलाऊंगा और कैमरामैन कहे नहीं मैं जो है सवाल पूछूंगा, तो ये समन्वय बिगड़ जाएगा। हम ये कह रहे हैं कि जिसका जो काम है उसको वो काम करने दें, और उससे दिल्ली के विकास के अंदर फ़ायदा होगा। हमारे विधायक लगातार जब एलजी साहब से मिल रहे हैं, क्योंकि एलजी साहब ने उन्हें बुलाया है, तो वे डीडीए से संबंधित अपनी समस्याएं रख रहे हैं, दिल्ली पुलिस से संबंधित समस्याएं रख रहे हैं, एमसीडी क्योंकि अब सीधा केंद्र सरकार के अंदर आती है, तो जगह जगह कूड़े की समस्या है, ढलाव की समस्या है, गाय और आवारा पशुओं की समस्या है, सड़कों के रखरखाव की समस्या है। कुछ दिनों के अंदर एमसीडी की नालियों के अंदर जलभराव होगा, कॉलोनियों के अंदर, गाँव के अंदर पानी भरेगा, वो समस्या है। तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि एलजी साहब के नीचे जो डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं, एलजी साहब उनकी अंदर जो है कुछ काम कराएं, हमारी मदद करें, दिल्ली का विकास के अंदर योगदान दें। चुनी हुई सरकार अपने डिपार्टमेंट्स के अंदर काम करे, एक दूसरे को सलाह ज़रूर दें, हम सलाह उन्हें दें, वो हमें सलाह दें, मगर अपना अपना काम ज़रूर करें, वरना उनके अंदर जो काम आते हैं वो सारे के सारे पीछे चले जाएंगे।
All right, so that's the Aam Aadmi Party response. Aam Aadmi Party MLA Saurav Bhardwaj saying that सारी मर्यादा की हदें पार कर रही है बीजेपी. So that's the allegation once again coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party, and blatant denial continues on part of the AAP. AAP has time and again maintained that this is nothing but political vendetta, and all these charges are false that are being framed against Satyendra Jain. He has nothing to do with this kind of a money laundering allegation that is being leveled. As far as the ED is concerned, there are three main charges that the Enforcement Directorate has highlighted. If we talk about the year 2012-13, three shell companies were used to launder money to the tune of 11.78 crore rupees, but he was not a minister then. Thereafter, in 2015-16, 4.63 crore rupees. That's the amount of money that was laundered through the shell companies, and he was a minister then. Madhav joining us from the newsroom with more details. Madhav, once again, this becomes a political flashpoint. The Aam Aadmi Party's blatant denial continues, but that's the kind of recovery that has been made by the Enforcement Directorate.
Well, a massive recovery, and indeed the pictures are certainly going to speak for themselves. But let's listen to what the Enforcement Directorate itself is saying. This is the information that's been put out in a press statement by the Enforcement Directorate. It says that the Director of Enforcement conducted a search operation on 6th of this month under PMLA 2002 at the premises of Satyendra Jain / Poonam Jain and his accomplices and other persons who had either directly or indirectly assisted him or participated in the process of money laundering, namely Ankush Jain, Vaibhav Jain, Naveen Jain, Siddharth Jain, directors of Messrs. Ram Prakash Jewellers Private Limited, Shri G.S. Mathur, chairman of Messrs. Lala Sher Singh Jeevan Vigyan Trust, which runs Prudence Group of Schools, Yogesh Kumar Jain, director in Messrs. Ram Prakash Jewellers Private Limited, father-in-law of Ankush Jain and Messrs. Lala Sher Singh Jeevan Vigyan Trust, as well as investigation going on to reveal that one accomplice member of Messrs. Lala Sher Singh Jeevan Vigyan Trust had provided accommodation entries for transfer of land from company beneficially owned by Satyendar Jain to family members of accomplices in order to alienate the property and to frustrate the process of confiscation. During the search, various incriminating documents and digital records were seized. The cash amounting to 2.85 crores and 133 gold coins weighing 1.80 kilograms total from unexplained sources were found to be secreted in the said premises and were seized under the PMLA. So very, very important here. An amount of 2.85 crores that's in cash, and also, of course, 133 gold coins weighing 1.80 kilograms from total unexplained sources were found to be in the said premises and were seized under the PMLA. So very big seizures over here that we're talking about. Going further to add that ED had initiated money laundering investigation on the basis of FIR registered by CBI 1 AC1 New Delhi on 24/8/2017 under section 13(2) read with 13(1)(e) of the PC 1988 against Shri Satyendra Jain, Poonam Jain, wife of Satyendra Jain, Ajit Prasad Jain, Sunil Kumar Jain, Vaibhav Jain, son of Shri Ajit Prasad Jain, and Ankush Jain, son of Sunil Kumar Jain. The CBI had further filed a charge sheet on 13/12/2018 against Satyendra Jain, as well as Poonam Jain, Ajit Prasad Jain, Sunil Kumar Jain, Vaibhav Jain, Ankush Jain, wherein it has been stated that Satyendra Jain, while holding the office as minister in the government of Delhi during the period 14/2/2015 to 31/5/2017, had acquired assets which are disproportionate to his known sources of income. CBI has accused Satyendra Jain, Srimati Poonam Jain, wife of Satyendra Jain, his business associates mainly Ajit Jain, as well as Sunil Jain, Ankush Jain, and Vaibhav Jain for commission offences under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. It further goes on to add that earlier ED had provisionally attached immovable properties worth 4.81 crores belonging to companies beneficially owned and controlled by Satyendra Jain on 31/3/2022. On the 30th 2022, in fact, ED has arrested Satyendar Jain under Section 19 of PMLA 2002, and he's presently in ED's custody. Further investigation in this case is under progress. So massive recoveries that have been made over here, over 133 gold coins, as well as huge amount of cash, over 2 crores that has been recovered. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you for breaking that down for us. But as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, as far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, he's been defending Satyendra Jain all throughout. In fact, when the ED probe was on and when the arrest was first made, he said that this is a political witch hunt and nothing else, and that Satyendra Jain in fact must be awarded with a Padma Bhushan for the Mohalla clinic work that he's done in the national capital. Listen in.
मैं तो हमेशा से कह रहा हूँ कि वो सबसे कट्टर ईमानदार आदमी है, कट्टर देशभक्त आदमी है सत्येंद्र जैन। उनको गलत तरीके से फंसाया जा रहा है, पर कोई बात नहीं, ईडी जांच करना चाहती है कर ले, हमारी जांच से साफ सुथरे निकल के आएंगे। और वो तो ऐसे व्यक्ति हैं जिस पे देश को गर्व होना चाहिए। उन्हें तो मुझे लगता है कि पद्म भूषण, पद्म जो भी सबसे टॉप है, पद्म विभूषण देना चाहिए। तो जो भी है, लेकिन वो ईडी वाले कर लें, सारे लोग जांच कर लें उनके। सीबीआई ने और इनकम टैक्स ने तो जांच कर ली, उन्होंने तो पाया कि भाई सत्येंद्र जैन पाक साफ है। ईडी वाले और जांच कर ले, वो ठीक निकलेंगे।
So you heard Arvind Kejriwal there say that let the agencies carry out their probe. Satyendra Jain will come out clean. So yes, recoveries have been made, and that's the amount on your screens, viewers. Aam Aadmi Party has come out with the first response. It was Aam Aadmi Party MLA who has now come out and said that this is just a vendetta against Dharmik Jain. Enforcement Directorate, in fact, did not get anything during the seizure, and no one knows what was recovered. Let me go across to Bhavatosh once again. Bhavatosh, you heard Saurabh Bhardwaj there, once again denying that any such recovery has been made. This is a false case, he goes on to say. So what is the ED stating at the moment? What kind of raids went on yesterday, for how many hours, and how will the ED now justify this, rather put this against Satyendra Jain in the courts?
Christine, we have now got an official statement from the Enforcement Directorate. If we can put it out, there is an official press release and a statement that has been issued by the Federal Probe Agency, in which they have given exactly what had happened since yesterday morning at around 6:45, when different teams of the Enforcement Directorate carried out raids and searches at different premises or place connected with Satyendra Jain, and what these raids actually mean. The searches started early morning yesterday, and they went on till wee hours of today, and these searches have led to this huge recovery of cash and gold, and the way they are connected to Satyendra Jain. Now, this entire case is related to Satyendra Jain, and the investigation revolves around him, though it has taken nearly 8 to 9 years since Income Tax Department started investigating this case. Remember, it was Income Tax Department that initially started carrying out this probe much before Satyendra Jain entered into public sphere. Satyendra Jain, in fact, was an accommodation entry and had a very close ties to them. He and his employees started putting out cash to Hawala operators, who were in fact started making investments in various shell companies. As soon as he entered public sphere or became a public servant, he resigned from directorship of various companies. Now here it became very interesting. He resigned from directorship of this company, but he had a major stake in these companies. He and his family members or extended family members had more than 1/3 stake in these companies. So he had a controlling stake in these companies, and these companies, subsequent to cash entry into these companies, they started investing into various lands in and around Delhi. These lands were actually agriculture land. Being a minister, he knew that the land mix of these properties will be changing, and that's exactly what happened. As a minister, he was aware what will happen in the cabinet. From agriculture land, these land became commercial, and he then had a huge windfall profit.
Yes.
And yeah, back to you.
A lot of reactions have been coming in. The BJP has also left no stone unturned in calling him a Desh ka Gaddar, and saying not only money was laundered but also used to purchase land in Delhi. Let's see how this plays out. Bhavtosh, thank you for joining us with all those details.